Hi, I'm Nancy. Welcome to Mindful Yoga. Today we have several themes. Physiologically, we're continuing with balance and doing some Taichi balance, thanks to teacher Peter Wayne. We're opening our shoulders, opening our hips, and kind of enveloping the whole practice today. We're keeping our sense of the breath and how, if we relax our bodies, the cells can become more receptive to receiving the breath. So let's have a seat and begin that very process of bringing our focus to the breath. Finding a posture that allows the lower ribs, the spine to be open and upright. Letting the breath swell the belly. You might take a few big breaths, letting the breath swell the belly and the lower ribs, and even lifting up into the front of the chest and back between the shoulder blades. Often we don't breathe with our whole lungs, but here's a chance. And after you're satisfied with that kind of breathing, just let the breathing become natural. Still like a wave, starting in the belly, reaching up through ribs. But it can be a humble, small breath. Expanding with the swell of the wave. And on the exhale, deep into the trough of the wave, between the waves. They say we can shape our breath, direct it like a celebrity conductor, seducing oboe, trumpet, viola into life. Someone asked me how that could be. Can we really send the breath to open brain cells, arches, hamstrings, or the million soft folds of the gut? Yes. No. Well, the oboist already knows how to play. Unfurls with the trumpet, unravels with the viola. The breath knows too, offers itself to the whole orchestra. We set the tone, drop the guard, for music to ring the body. Letting the breath steady the lung and heart area. Letting the breath relax the stomach, pancreas, spleen area. Letting the liver sing with the breath. Softening the kidneys and sacrum area. Putting a million folds of the gut at ease with the breath. Softening, relaxing, so that all the parts of the body can become juicy, open, receptive to what the breath brings. Even let the bottom of the feet get juicy. And bringing the hands to the side, welcoming in the sun in whatever form, veiled form or direct form it's coming into your life. And turn palms and bring them down. 2 more times, reaching out through the fingers, opening the knuckles and the hands, letting fingers curl and touch overhead, turning, feeling the pool of gravity settling down in with hands and pelvic floor, lifting up, long through the spine, up through the back of the crown. Going down into the trough of the wave. Bring the right hand. The hand comes over the head so that the fingers are on the left top side of the head. Push head into fingers, and then bring the right ear over towards the right shoulder. Pushing still into those fingers a bit. And then coming back up once more, pushing head into fingers and coming over. The pull in one direction and the push in the other direction. That balances each other out. Another balance in our body. And then the left hand comes up, fingers on the right side of the head, just at the top. Head into hands. And bringing left ear down to left shoulder. Just opening within range of motion on the other side there of the neck. Bringing it up. Pushing. Coming into your range of motion, relaxing through the jaw and the cheeks, tongue, and releasing it upwards. Bring one arm up, fingers reach up towards the sky and back, eyes follow to the extent that is comfortable. Bringing around, up, back, feeling through the shoulder. Being careful of the shoulder, always modifying to the shoulder or hip that you have. And coming around once again the other way, up. And feeling gravity slowly bringing you down. Other side, opening up, shoulder opens. Feeling of the fingertips across the mat. Moving to feel. Perhaps the breath inhales upwards and exhales as the hand comes down. Then coming around the opposite direction, inhaling up and slowly exhaling down, relaxing down through shoulder and arm and fingertips. Bring the feet, the soles of the feet together. You can have more of a diamond shape or bring the heels closer towards the groin. Hands might be on ankles or feet, or hands might kind of be wrapping the toes. Particularly if they are wrapping the toes or if you're not too far out, it feels good to push the feet together and allows you to bring a little bit more opening between the knees. But that's not so important. We're just opening, as I said before, to the range of motion in each one of your hips and through the groin area. Feel some energy coming down the spine, down through the tailbone, then lifting up through the abdominal muscles, inhaling up and exhaling over, just an inch or two. And continue with that, inhaling upwards, exhaling forward. Perhaps you have a focus on the earth that you're going towards. Chest remains forward. Perhaps you feel it through the sacrum. And then one last time, inhale up, exhale over. Feel free to bring a C shape to the spine safely. Feeling that opening between the vertebrae. And just breathing there for a moment, because as that opening allows space, the breath can come in to that part of the orchestra. And then bringing the chest forward and coming up. Bring the feet wide, hands back behind. Let the knees go back and forth. What's the feeling through the hips, through the groin area? Perhaps they're saying, thank you, I've been waiting to open up like this. Or perhaps they're saying, slow down a little bit. So listening to the body, coming around with the arm, becoming long, pausing for just a moment there as the fingers point back towards the corner of the room. A stretch, being aware of that stretch going back through the hip, back to the knee. Last time, as we come around this next time, come into a full body twist. Head might come down on the back of the hands, or if you need to keep the hands on the floor and be a little higher, that's fine too. Allow yourself to come back in to the receptivity to the breath, the softness in the belly, those many folds of intestine in the gut. And the gut also a kind of portal between this world and the larger universal world. That's what the ancients tell us, and it seems to still be true. Pushing up and over to the other side for a full body twist. And pushing up, we're going to come up to a standing position. So moving what you need to off of your mat. We're going to begin with the Ayurvedic movement of the joints. So first we'll just circle our head, bringing it gently over towards one shoulder, forward over to the other shoulder, and then in a more straight arc across the back, so not overdoing it with the opening, and yet you feel some opening in the front, but kind to the back of your neck. 3, 2, 1. And then back around the opposite direction. The neck can become a bottleneck. This helps to bring it at ease so that things can flow easily between body and mind, between our senses and the rest of our body, between our inner ears and our eyes and the muscles and joints of the body, and come back through center. Let's take our eyes, bring them up, over to one side, down to the bottom, over to the other corner, and up. So eyes going round. It doesn't need to be fast. Can keep a kind of pause at each of those points if that helps you, or you can develop more of just a circle. But this is part of your balance that we're playing with here, so respond as you need to. And then coming around the opposite direction. Just the slightest challenge to the inner ear, visual and proprioceptive balancing of the body. And then coming back to center. Bring your fingers together, intertwined, and we'll do a figure 8. Let them untwine and come together with the other thumb in front this time. Figure 8. And letting the hands come along the sides, shoulders come up to the ears, shoulder blades squeeze together. Let gravity have the shoulders for a moment and then bring them back up. You might let your upper back and your chest enter into this just a bit. And then one time, bring the shoulders forward and down. Feel the heaviness of the shoulders down through arms into fingertips, and let the heaviness of the palms come down into the heaviness of the bottom of the feet, rooting down into the earth. Hands come to the hip creases, feet come a little wider than hip width apart, bringing the hips over to one side, back, and over to the other side. Let it be slow, as if you are giving some attention to many of the points around the circle. Maybe not all 360, but many more than we usually do. Again, feeling, are there places where there is some soreness? And really it's just an observation. It's a diagnostic that we can do here. Knowing, oh yeah, that's a place where I might pause or I might come back to. And in the future, I'll gradually open that up a little bit more, coming around the other way, just finding what areas are open and receptive and what neighborhoods are still a little stuck and need some encouragement, but never forcing them. They'll come in their own time. One more time round. Bringing hands down to the knees, above the knees now. Feet come close together and knees come close together, and the hips come out in the back. Hands are above the knees, turning the knees for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Back around the opposite direction, feeling the movement in the feet and the hips as well. 3, 2, and 1. Now we'll come into a bit of a balance here. Let's bring your weight into the left foot. Feel the weight coming into the heel, across to the outside of the heel, across to the mounds of the 3 toes. And as we do this, there might be just a little bit more weight, 60-40, into the balls of the feet than into the heel, but definitely main weight coming down onto the heel and that diagonal sharing of the weight. Arches are engaged up through the inner thigh. Inner thighs come in a little bit, strong as you engage through the glutes, sits bones squeeze together. And then that feeling of the tucking in of the lower ribs and the tucking in of the bottom of the shoulder blades in the back. So this area of strength in the hips and area of strength up here around the ribs. And the relaxing down through the foot. The other foot comes back onto the toe, and we'll turn that foot, going from the front of the toes to the back of the toes, if that's comfortable. Notice the strength and the foundation in the foundation leg, and yet the rooting down into the earth. And then back around the opposite direction with those toes. You might stay on the front of your toes, adapt this as you need to. 3, 2, and 1. Then we'll come into the other foot, down into the foot, receiving the weight, bringing that energy up through the inner thigh, solid through the hips, the sides of the hips, the glutes, sits bones coming towards each other, lower ribs, lower shoulder blades. So very strong through the body, engaged and lifting up, and then bringing the foot back for 8, 7, 6, rooting down through that foot, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and around the opposite direction. Rooting down even as you lift up and are engaged. 3, 2, and 1. Now we're coming into these Taichi Balances. We're going to bring a foundation leg into the left foot, and you can always have a chair. You'd have it on the side of the foundation leg if you'd like that. If you have a chair, you might just keep a finger there. If you need your whole hand there, that's fine. But you might just try a finger that you can lift off every once in a while. So engaging up, lifting up, settling down, rooting down, and then lifting one leg up to the side. And you could hold it up there if you'd like. You can tap with that foot if you would like. Or you can let it go back and forth without touching. For 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to bring our toe forward, and just let the toe be forward on the earth here for a minute. Be aware of your neck and your head. Is your head soft on your shoulders? Is it kind of bobbleaceous like a Cupid doll? Are the shoulders soft? And are you breathing as you lift that front foot? Again, playing with it, you could hold it up, you could touch down, or you could just stay down, or you could not touch down. Dropping into the roots, dropping into the floor, feeling the juice flowing into that lifted leg. Then we're going to bring the leg back behind and lift from either the knee or the knee and the hip. I kind of do both the knee and the hip here. Feel the juice in the foundation leg now. It's getting a little juicier, right, as we tire it out a little bit. And then bringing back, let's be on both feet for just a moment. Take a breath. That wave coming down into the belly, coming up through the body, and then settling down into the trough of the wave. And this time, same foot receiving the weight, engaging, lifting, and settling down. Toe comes out and then lifts from the knee. So I have my knee forward and from the knee down with a little twist. Of course, there's also a turn in the hip. I'm just lifting that foot and shin in front of the other leg. 3, 2, and 1. And then we'll come to the other side. The chair would shift if you're using that. Now you know the drill, feeling the weight in the foot, engaging up through the leg, through the hips, through the ribs, lifting up through the spine, maybe a little tuck in the chin, and settling down. Then bringing the foot out to the side and lifting. 2, and 1. Bringing the foot forward, checking in with the neck. Is the head bobbleaceous? Are the shoulders soft? Are you breathing as that front foot lifts or just stays down? Find where you need your challenge, where you need your stability. Feel the chi building in that front leg and in the foundation leg in different ways, the yin and the yang. Then bringing the foot back behind and lifting. And it could just be a lift from the knee to the foot. 3, 2, and 1. Then bringing the foot forward and across and lifting. You lift from the hip, but most of the lift is from the knee to the toe. 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to root down with the left foot as if you were a skyscraper in an earthquake zone. They have to put the foundation so deep in order to survive that earthquake. And that's the spirit with which you can root down into that foot. Maybe inhale and exhale, letting the exhale take you down through your leg, down through your foot, not stopping, going down into the earth. We're so rooted that the other leg just floats off the ground and the other hand comes up with it. The arm floating up, wrist leading, fingers loose. A drishti or focus point always helps with these balances, finding a place on the floor in front of you, something that's not moving, so that the eyes are still and focused. Just aids the balance, and letting that foot come down, finding your, whoops, I have this the opposite way, so finding your foundation leg on the other side, engagement, lifting, Settling down, and this time really settling down, taking an inhale and an exhale, rooting down, down, through the belly, through the leg, down through the toes, into the earth. So heavy that the lightness comes naturally on the other side as the arm floats up. And my qigong Tai Chi teacher always says, if you lead with the wrist, then your elbow and your fingers are quite relaxed. And so there's a feeling like you're letting down your guard. You're not like this with your hand up, guarding something off. Rather, you're just being soft. And in this case, also allowing the breath to come in. And bring that down. Now we're going to walk in place. Bring your weight into your right foot. Let the left foot come back. The left arm comes forward and the right arm comes back a little bit. We're just going to walk with one leg, and you might tap back and forth. As you start, also give attention to the settling, the rooting down through the foot on the foundation leg. The engagement up, the lifting up, and that leg might go into a swinging pattern. Let's see what is right for you here. 3, 2, and 1. Then bring that left foot down. Let it settle down. Engage, lift, and back to the settling. The other foot comes back. And that the arm of the foot that comes back, the left arm is forward, and the other one back, as you swing back and forth. Some kind of just feels good. 3, 2, and 1. And this next one, it feels like not much is happening, but in fact, of course, we're always balancing. And it has to do with both our physical, our breath, and our mind, relaxing down and opening up the cells of the body. Imagine a honey bear, you know, those plastic bears that have honey in them, and sometimes you've used them so much and all of the honey has become crystallized up in the head. So if you imagine your own head kind of crystallized with everything happening up here in your mind, your brain very busily, our aim here is to let that honey melt down through head and through heart and go down in a very natural honey state down into the belly. Arms swing back and forth, feet stay still. And you might have, again, a drishti, a focus point, or you might be able to look around. If you are looking around, you might imagine looking around from your belly, melting the friction in the arms and the neck and the chest, relaxing through the jaw, through the ears, the skull, the neck, lips. Feel the body heavy. Just relaxing the physical body. Feeling the gravity. Any places of unconscious holding. Finding some ability perhaps to let go a little bit more. And focus on the breathing. Letting the breath come down. It can be a small, humble breath. Don't force it. But just like a drop of water, as if the breath were like a drop of water that comes down into the very bottom of the belly. And then rises through the rest. As if you're filling a glass with breath from the belly up. And then letting it drain out. Perhaps feeling some relaxation through organs and ribs and shoulders that wasn't available before. Feeling the big fat belly and sacrum area of the bear. And then centering our mind, When we say the mind, that's not the brain's in the skull, but the mind can go many places in the body. So dropping the center of the mind into the belly, just like the honey comes back and melts down into the bottom of the bear. Centering over the heels and balls, the soles of the feet, becoming like stethoscopes. Bottom of your feet, listening to the pulse of the earth. So you're listening with your soles, saying connected, the belly, with the breath, with the muscles, joints, blood vessels, nerves of the body. And let the arms come to a stop. We're going to bend the knees slightly, bring the arms together in front as we curl up, opening the back of the spine. And then opening up a cormorant, opening its wings on the log, maybe in the sun, maybe in the rain, maybe in the snow. Back and forth. Pausing where you feel, often where you're feeling something that needs a little more opening, not straining, staying soft so cells remain receptive, softening through the feet, softening through the belly, and through the softening, allowing more opening to occur. One more time. And bringing the hands down. Let's come down to a lying position. As you come down onto the mat, feeling particularly your sacrum, letting go down into the earth, the area behind the heart, and the skull. Bring the knees so they're bent above the hips. Arms come out in a T in both directions. Let the knees come over to about 45 degrees on one side, through middle, and over to the other side. Letting the breath flow so that especially as you come up through the middle, you can feel the exhale coming down into the earth. And then bringing, next time, letting the legs come up to the middle, lifting the head and shoulders. Fingers come on either side of the back of the skull. One leg extends out, one knee comes up to the chest. Leg extensions. Aware of any movement in the abdomen as the muscles say, oh, this is our turn. Option to bring elbow to opposite knee. And then letting the head come down, maybe giving a little massage to the back of the neck, underneath the skull, letting the jaw be very soft at the same time. Hands are out to either side. Left leg extends down, right leg extends up towards the ceiling. Always allowing some escape valve there in the knee that is soft, letting that leg open up to the same side as the leg, giving us some support from elbow up through hand underneath the thigh. Finding again, what is your range of motion? Maybe experimenting a bit. Maybe it's up here. I've had some people who have incredible ranges of motion, which I do not have. So find, where are you at with that hip? Because the other hip may well be different. And then bringing the leg up and across, perhaps turning the sole towards the opposite wall. Again, just feeling. What's it feel like through the IT band and along the side of the bottom part of the leg? One more time, opening up to the side. And coming across, we're opening up the hips. We're also just opening up that joint to a more receptive state, a juicier state. Give the knee a hug to the chest and let it come down. Left leg comes up towards the ceiling. It opens out to the left. Give it some support. Breathing into the belly at the same time. Letting that breath come down through the leg into the end of each of the toes. Then lifting up, coming across the midline a bit, turning the sole of the foot towards the opposite wall. Just aware of what you are feeling, relaxing down through the shoulder blades and behind the heart. One more time, opening up and bringing it across midline. Give that knee a hug. Then bring the other knee up to join it, hugging both knees up towards the chest. Knees come to the armpits, and the bottom of the legs and the feet come up into the air. Hands can be somewhere on the shin or calf, or they might be up on the bottom of the feet. A very profound relaxation through the back of the waist and the sacrum. Perhaps pushing up with one foot and then the other. Not a big strain, just a gentle opening that invites a little juicier feeling through the back of the thighs and the shin, calf. Releasing that, knees are still bent. Cross one thigh over the other. I'm putting the right thigh over the left thigh. Hands come down just below the knees and bring the knees just as far as is comfortable, a little bit up towards the chest, enjoying that stretch. Then bring the arms wide and find which arm is opposite of the top leg. So if your right leg is on top, your left arm is going to come behind the other arm and intertwine. Maybe wrists intertwine, maybe elbows intertwine, maybe just hands intertwine into eagle arms. Option here to have head and shoulders rise and knees and elbows come towards each other, back and forth 4 or 5 times. Becoming strong like an eagle. And then stretching out your arms to the sides, releasing the legs. Left leg comes over right leg or whatever is next for you. Think about that top leg, which is the opposite arm to that. If it's the left leg, it's the right arm that comes up and around the other arm. And then option for head and shoulders to lift and abdominal muscles to come into play once again. 3, 2, and 1. Now we're going to turn over and lie on our sides. This is a balance that I was going to do last week, and I was going to do more recently on Wednesday, but I'm going to do it today. So this is a balance on the side hip, which is almost impossible at first, but we can play with it. So coming onto the side, legs are stacked, hips are stacked on top of each other. You can lift both legs a little bit, perhaps. Legs are more or less straight. And then bring the head and the arm, the underarm, the right arm, up a little bit. The underarm, whatever that underarm is. You might bring the upper arm up also and see what it's like to try to have both hands up a little bit and feet up a little bit. And here the balance is really on the hips and the shoulders. You might lift in your shoulders slightly, just playing with it, and then bring it down. That's one we'd have to work on a little bit probably. Bring the arm, the forearm, right under the shoulders. Knees are gently bent. Arm comes out in front. Shoulder opens up as the arm comes back. Be careful, just go back as far as there is no strain. Moving within the range of motion. Over time, that range of motion becomes a little bit wider, but we want it to be very gradual over months. Then bringing the hand down, making sure that elbow is giving good support under the shoulder. Hand comes down to the front of the knee. Knee comes up towards the nose in the direction, and nose comes to knee. Slide the hand down the front of the leg, and option to have your hand on the foot and open up the quad, or not have your hand on the foot and open up the quad without any pulling back. So this depends a lot on your knee and whatever issues you have there. So going back and forth, nose and knee coming towards each other, and then opening the quad, and the shoulder opens a little bit too. Finding your version. And one last time. And then we'll come to the other side. Back to that hip balance. Kind of the fun of seeing what you can do here. Stacking the hips, stacking the legs, stacking the shoulders, lifting the legs slightly. Maybe the top arm stays in front, the hand stays in front of the chest, and just the underarm comes up with a little lift in the head. Maybe both arms are up, and that's a little harder as arms rise and legs rise, and maybe even a little rise through the shoulders. There's something to play with. Then bringing the forearm under the shoulder once again, gentle V in the legs. Arm comes forward, opens up back, and forward, and back, and forward, and back. Feel that shoulder becoming more receptive and open. Hand comes below the knee, knee towards nose, nose towards knee, and then making your decision as to how you're going to open the quad here, maybe pulling on the ankle or foot, or maybe letting there be less torque or closing through the knee. Back and forth. Maybe letting the breath coordinate with the movement. Particularly opening up the front of the hip and the quad to the play of the breath. Letting down the guard, letting the breath in. And let it come down. Let's come over into a tabletop position. Hands directly under the shoulders and knees under the hips. Fingers are wide. Middle finger is pointing forward. Good support up through the outer sides of the hands. The finger side of the hand, the little finger side of the hand, rather than the thumb side of the hand. Good support up through the shoulders. Tailbone rises in the back. A little rise in the chin. And then the tailbone comes down, lifting up around the waist particularly, using the oblique muscles to do that. Back and forth, opening up through the back of the spine, feeling the breath come into those spaces between the vertebrae, opening up in the front of the spine. One last time. Let's slide down into a prone position, coming into Sphinx pose with forearms under the shoulders, pulling back a little bit through the hands and the elbows, relaxing down, shoulder blades down towards the waist, feeling soft through hips and down through legs and feet, feeling invitation to open from lower ribs up through the heart. Now bring the eyes over to the left corner of the eyes and turn them towards the shoulder. Come back, eyes to the left, head to the left shoulder. And pause there a moment, then coming back one more time, eyes to the left, head to the left shoulder, then the left shoulder goes back slightly and the right shoulder comes forward slightly, bringing a slight side bend to the top part of the spine. And one more time, eyes to left, head to left shoulder, shoulders turn, and you feel the spine in a side bend down to the waist. And the other side, eyes come to the right corner, head goes to the right shoulder, and come back. Eyes go to the right, head goes to right shoulder, and come back. Eyes to the right, head to the right, and then shoulders go over towards the right, bringing a side bend into the spine. One more time. Eyes to the right, head around to the shoulder on the right, and spine goes back or over to the right. And bring it back through center. Let's bring the hands under the shoulders and come back up into tabletop. Balancing on two hands and a knee, bring one knee up to the side. Bring it forward slowly over the mat, a little circle, a forward circle. Skimming over the mat, coming forward. Keeping that balance as the knee comes up towards the elbow, reaches back, crosses over in the back, and then the gaze turns to look back at that foot. So the gaze is turning to the side that the foot has crossed to. And then coming up once again, knee towards elbow, reaching back and over, looking back. One last time. I'm feeling some opening through, particularly the side of the waist and hip. That opens another neighborhood to become juicier and receive the breath. Bring the other leg up into a hydrant, circling it slowly forward 2 or 3 times. And then bringing that knee towards the elbow, straight back, cross over, looking back at those toes in the back that have crossed over. Bringing that knee up towards the elbow, back and over. And one more time. Then coming back onto the toes, tucking the toes, taking a moment to stretch the feet. If that doesn't work for you, just skip this part. Anything you need to rest from, that's fine. Fingers come to the mat, come back onto your feet, lift the hips, hands come to the shins, press into the shins, long from the bottom of the spine up through the crown. Belly comes down to thighs, arms come wide, eyes and chest are forward as you come up. Before we end here, we're going to do kind of a modified eagle balance. So coming into your mountain pose, feeling the feet beneath you, the weight coming down into the feet, the engagement up through the legs and the hips, the engagement through the lower ribs, the lifting up through the spine, a little tuck in the chin as you're long through the back of the neck, and then the relaxation down through jaw, through heart, shoulders, belly, and down into the rooting, into the earth. And just for a moment, feeling the hum of the body. It hums a little bit more, the more it opens and relaxes, letting the breath wave through the body. Then bring the hands to the hips. Bring the weight into the left foot. Right foot crosses over in front, so you're on the toes of your right foot. Little bend in the left knee. So those are your eagle legs. You can lift that foot that is crossed over if you wish or not. Arms come wide. If your right foot leg has crossed over in the front, then your left arm comes under the other arm, so opposite arm at the top leg, and intertwines. Reach forward with the elbows, feeling the space, the openness between the shoulder blades. Option to lift that foot, no necessity to. You can keep a toe down or all the toes down. Breathing here and noticing the opening through the back of the body. Opening through the belly, head bobulacious. And let it go. Arms come wide and come back to standing. Finding your other foundation leg, settling down, engaging up, lifting up, and then once again, settling down as the left foot comes over, the opposite foot comes over onto the toe, crosses over in front. Little bend in the foundation leg as those knees and thighs kind of tuck together. Arms come wide. Opposite arm of the top leg comes under the other arm. So if your left leg is coming over, your right arm is coming underneath, intertwining in any way that works for you. Again, bringing the elbows forward, opening between the shoulder blades, and relaxing through the jaw, relaxing through the back of the neck, feeling the looseness of the head on the body and the sinking down into the cliff where you are perched. So there's great focus in this and stability, and at the same time, the engagement of the eagle ready to take off. And then unwinding the arms, unwinding the legs. We're going to end standing today. The weight comes into the back foot, and the right foot steps forward with a little bit of angle towards the corner of the room. Feel the balance shifting from foot to foot. Knees are soft as you go back and forth. And then we're just going to become like a conductor, conducting your favorite orchestra or band, or just moving with the natural flow of the cells and the joints and the muscles and the nerves and the bones of the body. Letting the breath commingle with the dance of the body-mind, dropping your guard, becoming less in control, like a good orchestra leader. Just a small movement of the stick, letting the whole orchestra take control, Feel the music, or let the whole body breathe. Then bringing that foot that has come forward back, other foot comes forward, beginning your rocking back and forth, aware of that shifting of balance, the softness in the feet, the softness in the shoulders and the jaw, the cheeks, the tongue, the softness in the belly, as the arms begin to conduct the orchestra in such a way that you are allowing the oboe, the trumpet, the viola to play as they naturally can, relaxed, at ease, in tune with the breath. Then coming back to center, bringing hands to namaste at the heart. The breath reaches out through the whole orchestra of the body. This week, soften, be at ease, get out of the way, so the music of the breath can ring the body. Namaste. Thanks for your practice.